Hello, children. I hope all of you all are doing well. Today we will be studying about the Cholas, their agriculture and irrigation, about their administration, Delhi Sultanate, who was the founder of Delhi Sultanate, and the Mughal Empire. So let us start. Development in agriculture were very much responsible for many of the achievements of the Cholas. The small branches of the river Kaveri frequently overflow, depositing fertile soil on both sides. Now, children, since Kaveri was overflowing, so it brought with it a lot of sand and silt along with it. So, the land was very fertile. Sorry. This made the area very fertile and good for agriculture with constant water supply. It was only from the 5th or 6th century that this area opened up for large cultivation. Forests were cleared and land leveled to make it suitable for cultivation. In the Delta region, embankments were built to stop flooding and canals were also constructed to carry the water to the fields. Now, children, since there were lot of water flowing, so they had made artificial banks to stop the water to be flooded on the banks. Okay, and also they had built canals so that the water could flow towards the other fields where water was not easily accessible. In many areas, two crops were grown in a year. It was during this time that artificial method of irrigation were developed and used extensively, along with the scientific method of rainwater harvesting. Now, children, rainwater harvesting, we all know that when there is an excessive rain, the rainwater is stored and it is used in the later periods. All these were very actively taken up by all the Chola kings with the active participation of the people. Okay, so everybody participated in this. All were very much in work with how to make the things better. Okay. Administration of the empire. Peasants organized themselves into settlements known as Ur. These settlements prospered with the development in the irrigation and agriculture. Groups of such settlements or villages made up a large unit called Nadu. So, underline this place, children. Peasants organize themselves into settlements called Ur. So, when they organized themselves into settlements, they were called as Urs. Groups such as settlements also underline this place. Groups of such settlements or villages made up of large unit called Nadu, a part of being responsible for collecting taxes and providing justice in dispute. The village council and Nadu were given for several administrative functions. Now, the village council and the Nadu was given powers like collecting taxes, providing justice if there is any kind of conflicts in the villages. Okay. The rich peasants of the Velala caste exercised considerable control over the affair of the Nadu under the supervision of central Chola government. The Chola kings gave some rich landowners titles like Muvenda Villain, a villain or peasant serving three kings, Arayar, chief, etc., as a mark of respect and entrusted them with important offices at the center. We have already read that the Brahmanas often receive land grants or Brahmadeva. As a result, a large number of Brahmana settlements came up in the Kaveri Valley as well as in the other parts of South India. Okay, children, in the earlier paragraph we have read that land grants were given to the temples where the priests used to settle down, they used to stay over there. Hence, the priests used to be the Brahmins, so the Brahmin settlements came up. Okay. Each Brahmadevaya was efficiently administered by an assembly or sabha of important Brahmana landlords. The activities and decisions of these assemblies were recorded in detail in inscriptions, often on the stone wall of temples. However, there were also a few associations of traders known as Nagarams who also performed a few selective administrative functions. So the traders were also involved in this. The sabhas, like we also have assemblies like Lok Sabha Assembly and Rajya Sabha Assembly where the ministers they discuss, that is also being documented. Over here, the documentation used to be done on the walls of the temples. Okay. Inscription found in Uttarameru in Chingleput district, Tamil Nadu, give detailed description of the organization of the Sabha. Each Sabha had separate committees to look after irrigation work, gardens, temples, etc. So they had the Sabha was separated into organizations of Sabha was separated. They had particularly given some work. Like the work was like irrigation work was there, gardens to look after the gardens and the temples, the maintenance of the temples. Okay. Members of these committees were picked through the process where the names of those eligible to be members of these committees were written on small pieces of palm leaf. These were then kept in an earthenware pot from which a young boy was asked to pick a ticket one by one for each committee, like it was a lucky draw. Okay, the pot, it was kept, the names were kept written on a paper, not on a paper, sorry, on the leaves of a palm tree, and it was kept inside the earthenware pot. And a boy used to come and pick up one by one. Okay, Muslim invasions. The Arabs were attempting to invade India for many years but were prevented by the Pratiharas. Muhammad bin Qasim was the first Arab general of Umayyad Empire to conquer Sindh in 1712 CE. The advance was restricted by the Pratiharas and Rajputs. But in south, the arrival of Muslim traders led to the formation of the Deccan Sultanates. From the 12th century, Muslim invaders succeeded in invading northern India and established the Delhi Sultanate. Now, Delhi Sultanate comprises of the dynasties like Slave Dynasty, Khilji Dynasty, Tughlaq Dynasty, Sayyid Dynasty, and Lodhi Dynasty. Okay, this comprises the Delhi Sultanate. Between 1001 to 1027, Muhammad of Ghazni attacked India 17 times, looting treasure including the rich temples of Somnath. Muhammad Ghori, of the next Muslim ruler who influenced Indian history, was defeated by Prithviraj Chauhan, but the very next year, in 1192 AD, the Battle of Tehran, he defeated and killed Prithviraj Chauhan. He continued up to Kannauj and left behind Kutubuddin Aiberg, his administrator. Kutubuddin Aiberg was the founder of the slave dynasty. Slave dynasty is also known as the Mamluk dynasty. And Kutubuddin Aiberg was a slave, a trusted slave of Muhammad Ghori. Okay? This is the picture of Qutub Minar, and Qutubuddin Aibak had constructed it. The construction of Qutub Minar was started by Qutubuddin Aibak in 1193. In 1338, three more floors were added by Iltutmish, and finally Firoz Shah Tughlaq added the last two floors to it. The slave dynasty, also known as the Mamluk dynasty, extended over large parts of northern India, and under Ulugh Khan Balban, it reached its peak. After Balban's death, the Sultanate lost its power in 1290 AD to Khilji dynasty, which conquered central India. In the 1320, the Tughlaq dynasty grew, and under Muhammad bin Tughlaq reached its zenith. Now, the Khilji dynasty was founded by Jalaluddin Khilji, and then his nephew took over, Alauddin Khilji, and then the Tughlaq dynasty came over. The decline of Tughlaq dynasty started with the invasion of the Mongol ruler Timur. In 1398, the Sayyid dynasty ruled from 1414 to 1450. It was followed by the Lodhi dynasty. Ibrahim Lodhi was the last great ruler of Delhi Sultanate. Though an able administrator, his high handedness and constant disagreement with his Afghan chief cost him his throne and life when they invited Babur to conquer Delhi. Babur, with a much smaller army, defeated Lodhi in the first battle of Panipat in 1526. So please underline, the first battle of Panipat took place in 1526. The entry of Babur marked the end of Delhi Sultanate and the beginning of the Mughal dynasty. Humayun succeeded Babur to the throne but was repeatedly defeated by Shesha Suri, who finally captured Delhi in 1540. Now, children, we all know about Shesha Suri. He had constructed the Grand Trunk Road, the famous GT road. Okay, Shesha's reign was short, and in 1555, Humayun recaptured Delhi. His accidental death in 1556 led to Akbar becoming the next Mughal emperor. Akbar is often regarded as the greatest Mughal emperor. Under his rule, 1556 to 1506. So, Akbar ruled till from 1556 to 1605. He bought the Rajput kingdoms under his rule. The landmark Battle of the Haldi Ghati in 1576 saw the defeat of Maharana Pratap, the Rajput ruler of Mewar. Bengal, Gujarat, Kashmir, Kabul, Sindh, and Kandahar were conquered. In 1605, Jahangir was proclaimed ruler. After his death in 1627 AD, Shah Jahan ascended the throne. He did not add to the existing kingdom and was famous for the construction of Taj Mahal. His son Aurangzeb imprisoned him and ruled till 1707. Aurangzeb is considered the last great ruler of the Mughal dynasty. Here, children, in the period during when Shah Jahan was the king, it was the golden era of architecture. Okay, there were some splendid monuments which was built during this time. One is already there, the Taj Mahal, the Red Fort. It was all built during this period. Okay, Aurangzeb is considered the last ruler of the Mughal dynasty, a religious fanatic. his empire extended from Kashmir to Deccan and from Bengal to Ghazni. After his death, the empire was divided between his sons, and thus began the decline of this dynasty. His successor could not cope with the attacks from the Sikhs, Marathas, and finally the British. The death of Bahadur Shah II in 1862 in Rangoon ended the Mughal dynasty. After Aurangzeb, the Mughal dynasty started declining because his successors were not as strong as him. They were weak. And after Bahadur Shah's death, the Mughal dynasty ended. So, thank you, children. The remaining part we will do in the next part. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye.